Hi, welcome back to another video, and I have now managed to put in a decent amount of time with Assetto Corsa Evo release 0.4, which as I'm recording this landed last Thursday. So we've got quite a lot to cover in this in terms of what's in it. The main things, Daily Racing Portal is now available for those of you that like racing online. We also have a load of new cars. So we've got a couple in the racing category, as Kunos are calling it. So the Ferrari F40 LM, which is an early 90s IMSA and so on competitor. The first modern era Formula One car in an AC Evo, so the Ferrari SF25, and this covers, quite frankly, all of the silliness that included in it, so the hybrid technology, the ERS, DRS, etc. And you'll spend a huge amount of time mapping all of that to your wheel and understanding what the hell goes on with it. In terms of road cars, we've got a lot more of those. I think it's about 8, not including variants. So the BMW M3 CSL, so that's an E46 BMW, which was a very lightweight coupe for not just its time, but nowadays as well. In more modern BMW terms, we've got the M8 Competition Coupe, the Ferrari Daytona SP3, and one of my favourites that I've driven so far of this, the Mini John Cooper S. So this is the Mark 6 version we're talking about here. That may sound modern, but it's not. It's still an old Mini. That's available either with its A-Series standard factory engine in there, or a B16 conversion variant, which is an engine swap with a 1.6 litre Honda VTEC engine in there, kicking out 160 brake horsepower, and does turn it into an absolute little monster, and has a huge amount of compression braking on there as well. So when you're on the brakes, it's really easy for the back end to get incredibly light and swap ends on you. So it's a Mini, but it's a challenging drive and great fun. At some point during this video, I did a single make race with the engine swapped, the B16 variant, and it was great fun, even with the, as we'll come on to talk in a bit more, the still rather poor AI that AC Evo has. But continuing with our cars, we also get a Peugeot 205 T16. So this was the Group B homologation road car variant of it, and is very silly. The Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 RS, and there's 2 variations on that, one with a performance package. Again, a very silly car, but great fun. Really enjoyed that one. Renault 5 GT Turbo, one of my all-time favourite front-wheel drive cars. It's a very silly car. Actually, I've not properly checked on this. I think this is the... Is this... Yeah, GT Turbo, so it is the front-wheel drive variation of it, not the rear-wheel drive version of it. Had a momentary meltdown there. A Toyota Supra Turbo RZ Mark IV is also included. So this is basically a very silly modified version of the car, and also as well as the standard version. And the very silly modified one is a full drift update, so lots of torque, silly steering angles, and a drift specific setup on the car, which I will probably never be able to hold sideways for more than about 10 seconds given my drifting skills. We've also got a load of new tracks, well, 4 actually. They're all fully laser scanned and they all look absolutely brilliant. So we have Road Atlanta, we have Monza, and we have Alton Park. Of those 3, Alton Park's definitely my pick. It's a track I absolutely love, always have done in sim racing, racing full stop. It's a great historic circuit. But on top of that, we have the Nürburgring with the Nordschleife and multiple layouts, including the Touristenfahrten, which is the tourist layout, allowing you to do bridge to gantry timing on there, which is great fun. Also, worth noting, all of the F1 circuits included in the game so far have been updated with the current DRS zones to allow you to use the SF25 car properly on there. But for me, one of the biggest changes and biggest updates has been the work they've done on the physics model. So there's a new tyre damping model on there, and also tyre thermals and wear and all sorts of stuff associated with that, as well as the drivetrain, have all been updated. So this really has made a huge difference to the title. ACE, though, was good, but it wasn't great in its original form. Don't get me wrong, I really liked the 0.3 versions and before, but this is the first major step up, in my view, that we have had in terms of the physics, and it really does make a huge difference, particularly in my view with the road cars. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that in terms of road car physics, I don't think there's a better title around at the moment. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. There isn't a single title out there that is perfect, but for the road cars, it is really good. I can pick holes in it. That's easy to do. If I take, for example, the Hyundai i30N car I actually own and have driven fairly robustly. For example, now I don't know whether this is a physics engine issue or a build of the car issue, but it's worth pointing out. The car as standard is in N mode when you go, which means that the electronically controlled mechanical diff on it should have the more aggressive mapping running on it. And for my money, particularly in slower corners, the diff takes a fraction of a second too long to actually kick in. In reality, in sport mode, it kicks in insanely quickly and just drags you around the corner as you add throttle. There's a delay, but it's a perceivable delay, and it's actually behaving close to how the car has on the normal mapping in reality. So, as I say, don't know if that's a physics engine issue or a issue with that particular car and how it's been modelled, but for me it is noticeable. But overall, big step up in terms of the physics and how they perform. Really worth it. So if that's what you're interested in and you haven't made the jump into ACE yet, now is the right time to do it. They've also updated the audio side of things, and they have updated the graphics side of things, in particular reducing VRAM usage, and for me I do think this is noticeable. It does still need a lot more optimization, and from a graphics point of view there's still a lot missing, in particular particle effects, so tyre smoke, things like that, still absent without leave. They do say that they have updated the UI to improve clarity and things like that, but for me the UI is still absolutely horrible. I don't like it at all. I find it cumbersome to navigate, a real pain to use, and it really does need a thorough overhaul. But I'm going to say this here now, so far, actually with the exception of Rally, I do like the UI on Rally. That's not terrible, but the original AC user interface, the ACC user interface and the ACE user interface, all horrible in my opinion. I don't like any of them. And also, one of the things that has not improved or changed, and in all fairness to Kunos, they've not made any claims that it has, is the AI is still very processional. It is still very basic. It is still not always aware that you are there, and still needs a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work. It's probably now the area that is letting it down the most, in my opinion. It's usable, but only just, and this still gives, for my money, ACE its biggest problem that arguably it inherited from the original Assetto Corsa, and that is it could be argued that it is a hot lap simulator still. Don't get me wrong, I quite enjoy racing the AI, but it's not even in the same ballpark as the likes of Race Room or LMU. Again, both of those are far from perfect, nothing is, but it's still for me the real big weak spot of ACE as it stands now. But overall, the 0.4 update for Assetto Corsa Evo is a big step in the right direction. And being perfectly honest, the bit that really cemented it for me was taking the i30N around the Taurus loop at the Nordschleife, because the car just feels so damn alive. The car just feels so damn alive. Sorry, my notifications went off there. I forgot to turn them off again. The car really does react to what you're doing. You can tell what the car's doing, and it feels like the actual car does. Other than my one niggle I mentioned earlier on. But overall, yeah, for me, big thumbs up for the 0.4 update for AC Evo, and a great Christmas present for us from Kunos in this regard. So that's the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you've not done so already, if you can subscribe to the channel and switch on the notifications, it will help the channel massively. So thanks very much. If I don't speak to you before and don't create another video before, have a great Christmas. Take care. Bye.